So let me explain 4 theories of teaching and learning. We taught this in high school. I think students would be kind of interested in how the classes are structured and why we're being taught a certain way, and they'd be able to think critically about what they do. And it's going to be very brief. Stay with me. The first and the oldest theory about teaching is behaviorism. Behaviorism is when you are conditioned, the student is conditioned by a series of programs or series of actions, which are rewards or punishments that the teacher gives, so that the student can behave in a certain way. And the student will learn if they adopt those behaviors. Pretty much what Pavlov did with the dogs. He made sure to ring a bell and he fed them. And they rang a bell and he fed them. He rang the bell and he noticed they would salivate anyway, regardless of if he fed them or not. And sitting quietly and raising your hand. If you raise your hand, the teacher rewards you by calling on you. If you don't raise your hand and you blurt out your answer, the teacher ignores you. And sitting quietly and raising your hand. If you raise your hand, I teach middle school, and by middle school I want students to be motivated by many other things other than rewards and punishments. Maybe rewards that fit them better, and punishments that also are according to their age. We don't call them punishments, we call them consequences. The second theory is cognitivism. Cognitivism states, very, very briefly, I hope none of the PhDs in teaching or in education come at me, but it basically says the teacher wants to know if the student is thinking about what they're learning. They're not just regurgitating it and sending it back in a thoughtless way. It's not just memorization. You actually have to put some thought into what you are learning and be able to say it in your own words. That's how learning occurs. The teacher asks the students, say this in your own words. That's cognitivism. Constructivism says that students don't just accept the information being given to them, like in cognitivism. Constructivism says students receive the information and connect it. It builds on their previous experiences. So that, of course, the best example is when students connect things to prior knowledge. That's when real learning occurs. And it kind of does. But if the student doesn't connect it to anything, how do you create that experience? And there comes the last theory, is experientialism. Experientialism. Hard to say. And that theory says that there is no other way to learn but doing it yourself. And of course, probably for adults, the best type of learning and teaching and learning are a mix of all 4 styles. There you go. You're welcome.